All right, welcome to the San Diego Unified Office Skills Training video series, Tips and Tricks. In today's video, we'll be discussing how to share a Google slide. So welcome everyone, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here at my browser and I'm going to click on the tab that has my Sandy.net Google Drive. And we know this is my Sandy.net Google Drive because over here in the account section, we can see that I have my Sandy.net email address. So just a reminder that everyone in San Diego Unified that is an employee that has a Sandy.net email address is part of the Sandy.net Google domain. And that means that they have a drive where they can store all of their files and folders and keep everything that they're working with regarding Google within the district. So here in my Sandy.net Google Drive, I have a practice folder where I have several files in there and also several additional folders with additional files as well. So I'm going to drill down on that and double click. And I can see a Google Doc here, a Google Sheet. And the one we're worried about today or that we're going to work on today is this particular slide. And this is just for our practice today. And so I'm going to go ahead and just drill down on this and double click to open up this Google slide. As you can see, it's opening up a new tab right here in my browser. And so here is my sharing practice slide. And of course, I have pictures of some beautiful horses here. That's just wonderful. And so the first way that we can share, that's the most obvious, is taking a look at the slides user interface here. Is over here on the right hand side, just like in Google Docs and in Google Sheets, we have a share button. And so to be able to share, all we have to do is click on that and we start that process. We see the same exact share dialog box, if you will, that opens up the same in Google Docs and also Google Sheets. It's a little bit different in Google Forms, but we'll see that in a different video. And so at this point, all I have to do is start adding the email addresses of any staff members I would wish to share this particular slide with. And so for our purposes here, we're going to go ahead and hit the letter T, and it will bring up the last Sandy.net email addresses. Let's start with a T. And so we can see we have our trainer T1, John Lennon, our pretend trainer T2, T3, and T4. The Fab Four, if you will. They're going to help us with our training today. So thank you so much, gentlemen. So the first person I'm going to add to this is I'm just going to go ahead and click on Trainer T1, John Lennon. And so now he has been added to this list here, and we haven't actually shared it yet, not until we click the send button. But a few things to note. For one, we have a choice here to make John either a viewer or a viewer that can make comments, or an actual editor. And if John is an editor, then he has the ability to be able to make changes in the slide and do several other things that we'll talk about as we move forward. I would just note at this time, if we wanted to, we could click right here and type in a message. Here you go, John. Here's the slide I was telling you about. Please add your slides to it so we can complete this project, whatever the message is. And then when I click send, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. When I click send, he will actually get a notification depending on how his notifications are set up. It'll either be a little pop out in his browser as he's working in his browser. He'll see a little message saying, hey, Mr. J has shared with you a Google slide, and then he'll be able to access it that way. Or he could actually get an email sent to him with the same information, depending on, again, how Trainer T1 has their notifications set up. And we'll show that in a different video. All right, so we've added one person to this so far. And if we go back up here and we click on share, we can see that that person is right there. And I just wanted to note something real quick. Up here at the right-hand side, we've got this little gear symbol, which is the icon for settings. When I click on that, there's a couple of boxes here that are checked by default. And so if this box here is checked, it means that editors like Trainer T1, John Lennon, can change permissions and share. basically, John can do everything I'm doing, add more people to this particular Google slide, take people off of there if he wants. He can change people that are viewers only to commenters and or editors and vice versa. And so editors can do all those things if that's checked. If I do not want editors to be able to do that, whether it's just John or if I add more editors later, as we'll see, I simply deselect this. And now the editors can no longer change permissions and share. I'm going to go ahead and leave that the way that it was. And then down here, if this one is checked, it simply means that viewers and commenters have the option to download, print, or copy. If you don't want someone who's looking at your Google slide to be able to make a copy or download it or print it, then simply deselect this right here. And again, how did we get to that? Right here, the little settings icon, and there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and just click away from this right now because there's another way that we can get to this share. And so I'm going to go back to our sandy.net Google Drive, my particular Google Drive. And you see here that we've got all these different files that are here, as well as several subfolders. When none of these are selected, just by clicking one time, they're selected. If I click away from it, none of these are selected. We see that there's no icons up here in this space right up here. And if I just click one time, I see that I have the ability to get a link. I see the share icon, so I can click on that. And let's go ahead and I'll do that in just a second. If we want to just preview, if we want to throw it in the trash, and anytime you see three dots, whether vertical or horizontal, it's a more button, and it simply opens up a shortcut menu to additional things that you can do. So all of those symbols there are available simply because I clicked on it one time and they show up. If I click away, they disappear. Well, all of those things up there are the same thing as just right-clicking on a particular file, and you have all of the same menu items there in your shortcut menu. So let's go ahead and just go back up to share. All right, so here we go. This is where we're at so far, and we want to add some more people. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the letter T. We'll go ahead and add Sir Paul McCartney there, hit the letter T again. Let's let George Harrison on board, and the letter T again, and we'll get Trainer T4 Ringo Starr. There we go. Now again, at this point, we can make them editors or viewers and commenters. We'll just leave them editors right now. I'm not going to take the time to type out a message, and I'm going to go ahead and just say send. All right, so there we go. That took a little bit longer that time. And just a reminder that all things at Google happen up in the cloud. You have to be in a browser. And by the way, if you're ever doing anything in Google, the only browser you should be doing it in is the one down here that looks like this. It's the Google Chrome browser. It's got the yellow, red, and green circle with a blue dot in the middle. And the reason you want to use that is because all of the features of all of the apps, whether it's Sheets, Docs, Forms, or Google Drive, or Slides in this case, all of the features work, the drop-down menus work in Google Chrome. They do not all work in the other browsers that are out there. So keep that in mind. So here we are in sharing practice. I'll just go up here this time, and I'm going to click sharing right there. And so there's a couple other things that we can do. Now that they're part of this, when I click on one of these names, I'll click on John here real quick. Again, I can change him back to just a viewer or a viewer and a commenter. I'm going to go ahead and leave him as editor for the moment. But look down here. I could actually transfer ownership. I could make Trainer T1 the new owner and give Trainer T1 all the options that I would have as the owner to add people, take people away, whatever. Or if I need to, I could remove him. But look at this, give temporary access. And you'll notice it says comment and view only. Right now, John's an editor. So if I click on this, then it says access expires in 30 days and it throws up a date there. If I click on it, I can choose a different date. If I want to choose this date right here, so now access expires on Wednesday, June 22nd, right before midnight, as you can see. If I click on it again, I can also go back to a different date and maybe pick like the, oh, I don't know, the 26th of May or something like that. And we'll say access expires on that particular date. And all I have to do is click save to do that. But I want you to notice that when I do it, it's made John a commenter. And so I only have the option to use commenter. Let's see if I make him a viewer, what happens. It still works. We'll save it. So viewers and commenters will work, but trying to have someone temporary as an editor does not seem to work, at least at this point. So this is a good time to mention this. All things Google, excuse me, all things Google can change at any time. The wonderful men and women software engineers at Google, they are constantly adding new features to all of their apps. And in this case, the share feature within Google Slides, they could decide to change this at any point and allow you to be able to set up a timer for editors. Right now you can't, but that doesn't mean it won't change in the future. Things are changing and being added to all the time as far as all of the Google apps. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and just make him an editor again. And you can see it got rid of the little timer there. To make it happen, again, remember, I have to click save. So I'm just going to click save. There we go. All right. So if I go back up here again, I look and I see, because this is selected one time, I can get a link. But there's another way to do that besides just right clicking and also being able to get a link. I'm just going to go back to share and open that up, and let's take a look at a different one. So down here at the bottom, it says restricted. Only people added can open with this link. That's our current setting right now. So just those 4 individuals. If I decide that old Ringo Starr hasn't been behaving himself and I need to remove him, no problem. I can take him out of there just that quick and then click save and it will save it. But before I do that, let's look down here. It says share with San Diego Unified School District. Okay. So everyone within the San Diego Unified School District that has this link, and I can copy it right here, put it on my clipboard, and then paste it into an email that I'm going to blast out to my department or my school site, or I can put it on a web page or something like that. Anyone with that link that's in the school district that has a sandy.net email address, so that's how we know they're part of our school district, we can set it up where every one of them can view this particular Google slide. Maybe that's our intention. Or look at the other options. We could make them a viewer and a commenter if that were necessary. Or we could actually make them an editor. I'll go ahead and just click that. All right, so the permission is now updated. But look at this. Anyone in the school district that gets a hold of that link could be an editor. That's a little silly. We can't have 500 people or 5,000 people editing the same thing. That would be kind of silly, but at least the option is there. All right. Well, there's a little more button here. Let's see what else is available. So right now, it's all the people that we put up here and individuals that we added, trainers T1 through T4, and then everyone in the school district with that link. How about this button? If we click this one now, it's basically anyone on the entire internet. So if we put this on a web page, for example, and we want it would be silly to make them all editors. So let's change this back to just viewer. But if we have a slideshow presentation, maybe it's about our school site, maybe it's about the school district, or maybe it's just a department within the school district, and we have a slide presentation we want people to be able to see and just view it to gain information about whatever, then we can simply get this link and make the settings so anyone on the internet with this link, not just the San Diego Unified employees, can then view that. And so all I have to do again is copy it, paste it into an email, or add it to a web page or something like that where people have access to it. And then everybody on the internet will be able to do that. So to set it, all I have to do is say done, and now it's done. Let's go back up one more time. All right. So at this point, anyone on the internet can view this. If I want to change it, I can go back and then hit the little more button here. And I'm going to change it back to restricted at this point. All right. So now it's just these individuals here. And again, if I need to add more people from my department or my school site, I can. If I have more than just one name or 2 or 3 names, I might have a list of everybody in my department that I work for, or everybody at my school site. If I have a list of email addresses, I can copy them and paste them right here, and they will all show up at the same time. And then you can, after you save it, come back and individually change who's going to be an editor, who's going to be a viewer, something like that. So that is how you share a Google Sheet in the nutshell. And I hope this video has been helpful for you. Please spread the word about the Office Skills Training classes that we have and the videos we have on our Office Skills YouTube channel. And also remember that we have our PowerSchool trainers and also our PeopleSoft trainer out there available to teach you all the things you need to learn about those items as well. So please come and visit our IT training calendar in the IT department and come sign up for as many classes as you can. And please share this information with your colleagues, those that you work with, so we can get the word out about these classes. Thank you so much and have a great day.